Hello again, and welcome back to the SWAR Podcast, where aging, wellness, and wisdom intersect. I am your host, Maggie Lazar, and delighted to have you on today. Today is Aging Day. We spoke last time about taking stock or inventory about your life so that you can make the changes necessary for healthy aging, right? For a prolonged life. We also talk about the quality of aging or living longer. You can live 100 years old, but if you are in the bed, you can't move, people have to feed you, clean you, and you're totally dependent on others. I don't know about you, but I don't want to live long in that situation. So we go back, regardless of how old we are, and we can look back and say, "Oh yeah, I used to eat all this that junk. I used to drink. I used to do drugs. I used to do that." Certainly, that has an effect on my longevity. But then you can decide right then and there to make decisions to change your life. And, positive changes do matter. The other thing you could do also, and look at your environment, because wellness, when we talk about it, it encompasses not just physical, but the mental. And we know, especially after COVID, how important mental health is. I mean, we've always known, but it's like COVID has really taken the veil off a lot of things because, the isolation, the idea of having to stay indoors, I mean, it caused havoc in some people's lives. And as humans, we may be on the brink or on the cusp of different things. And then it takes one traumatic experience, one disaster to just make it blow up in our faces. And this is what COVID has done for a lot of people. The depression got worse, the anxiety got worse. It just wasn't a good situation. And I remember reading that 1.2 point something million Americans died of COVID related complications. That is a lot of people. That's a lot of people. So when we look back into like our growing up years, what was the family situation? Because believe it or not, that has a lot of influence on how you move forward in life. In fact, when you study mental health, diagnosis or conditions such as schizophrenia, it's closely related to like a negative home situation, like if you had violence in the home, or there was alcoholism, or there was domestic violence. Listen, people who grew up in those environments carry the scars to the rest of their life. And you may be listening to me and you're like, yes, sis, I can so relate because my home situation was this and that. And sometimes there is incest in the home, there is sexual violence, there is sexual violations, of children. This one hits hard because I have a soft spot for children, and the idea that parents or a family member could just take advantage of an innocent little child, it hits me differently because I know what that's going to do to this child. So, sis, if any of the things I talked about your home situation really, and you looking at yourself and you see, I'm out of control, I don't know what's happening, it pays to go back and look to see if this what's going on. And then, therapy can help a lot in uncovering, acknowledging, and being able to move forward. Because until you know what you've been through, and then you consciously work to forgive and not carrying that dead weight around, you're not going to be able to move forward and live a long, healthy life. There's a lot more we have to say about this topic, but I think it's important that we all take stock. Oh, this world is just crazy. And again, I am on in a public space. I'm trying really hard not to let the words that I really want to say slip out but this world is crazy. The amount of hurt and just crazy stuff people do to each other just blows my mind. It blows my mind. But that is our reality, and we cannot escape it. All we can do is live within the system and make the best of it and rise above the hurt and the situation. And you can. Others have. You can. You certainly can, sis. So go out there today with courage, not acting, walking around like a victim. Don't carry the shackles that they set out for you. You can break free, sis. And it doesn't matter how old you are, you can. Yes, you can. All right. I will see you tomorrow. We get deep during these podcasts, but it's necessary. God loves you. I love you. Au revoir. À la prochaine. Bye.